Okay, here we go. Abby's gonna help me with Cooking with Coaches Part 2. So we're gonna start with our stuffed bagel bites. And first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 375. So usually I just start my oven and then get started on the recipe. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go start the oven. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the dough. So for the dough, we need, let's get up here. We need a cup of flour. So we're actually gonna double our recipe so we can make double them for the week because we go through them pretty crazily in our household. So Abby is gonna get 2 scoops of our flour to put in here.
There. It's gonna go in that bowl.
It's gonna go in this bowl.
I know, this one?
Yep. Okay. So Abby's gonna get 2 cups. So we've got our 2 cups of flour, and then we're going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So if you're doing just one single recipe, you're just gonna do 2, but like I said, we're gonna double everything. So we are gonna do 4 of these. All right, there's our 4 of the teaspoons of baking powder. Then we're gonna do 1 cup of Greek yogurt, but because we're doubling it, we're actually gonna do 2 cups. And we use let's reach over here, the Stonyfield non-fat Greek yogurt. Next thing we're gonna do is we are going to mix that all together. So that's gonna be like your bagel base. So it says to use a fork because it just gets it a little bit more mixed up. Please don't. It gets it a little more mixed up than like a spatula. So if you have a fork, that's usually how we do it. Once you've got it kind of mixed up here, what we do is we have a yeah, okay, hold on. We're gonna just lay out wherever you're gonna mix this up, you're gonna just lay out a little bit of flour. So on your countertop or wherever you are.
Can I get one more?
Just 1 more scoop, yep. Just gonna lay out some flour.
Okay.
That's plenty, yep. All right, then you're gonna take the dough that you've made and try to make like a big ball.
I'm gonna try.
Can you wait 1 second, please? Thank you. All right. So we're gonna try to make a big ball with this dough. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna separate this into, we're gonna do 16 little balls because 1 batch is 8 balls. So if you just made 1 batch, you're gonna break it into 8. We're gonna break ours into 16. And they don't have to be perfect. We just I just try to like make all my balls in little like halves and then keep breaking them in half until we've got the right amount. So again, these are gonna be a little bit sticky still. So if you can see my hands, they're like still pretty gooey, right? But not too crazy. So once you've got your balls kind of all formed, we're gonna,
can I try?
Yep, roll them into a ball. So we're gonna roll all of ours into a ball. Right, then once your hands are washed and your balls are all shaped, you're going to, I'm waiting, Abby. You're gonna take 1 egg if you're doing one recipe, if you're doing a single recipe, and then 2 eggs if you're gonna do a double recipe. And you're only gonna use the egg whites. So if you don't have one of these fancy strainers, then what you can do is take your egg, crack it, and then wait 1 second, please. When you're cracking it, we just want the egg yolk, the whites, we don't want the yolk. So you can kind of just like toss it back and forth, and that will help get out the egg white and keep the yolk intact.
I'm gonna try one.
Or if you have a little sifter, you can, hold on. You can hook it to your, so we're gonna set that to the side. Then you're gonna take your balls and you're just going to flatten them out a little bit. So we flatten them out. So again, these don't have to be perfect when you're making them flat either. They just have to have enough space to put in your cream cheese. Okay, that's good. Yep, you made a mess out of that one. All right, how are we doing so far? You guys good? Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is you're gonna do your cream cheese. So if you're using like a brick of cream cheese, you're gonna cut it in half. Abby, I'm just giving them directions. If you're using a brick of cream cheese, you're gonna cut it in half, and then you're gonna use one half and cut it into 8 pieces to do your eight bagel balls. If you're doing like a container of cream cheese, we're gonna do strawberry cream cheese today. So if you guys are doing a container of cream cheese, then you're just gonna get out a spoon and scoop a little bit out. I would say like probably a teaspoon of it, or like a teaspoon and a half. So we're gonna take our spoon.
Add your time.
And we're gonna put like about this much if you're using like a spreadable cream cheese versus the plain cream cheese that just comes in a brick. Yes, Abby.
I want to do it.
Okay, here, ready? So you're gonna put that in the middle of your ball that you've just flattened, and then once you have that in there, you're just gonna kind of roll it up.
I want you to roll it up
and try to cover it as best you can. So once I feel like I've got it all kind of covered, then I just remake it into a ball. And then we set ours on our baking tray. And you can put it on top of just a regular baking tray. You can use parchment paper or you can use tin foil. We use tin foil just because it's easier to clean up, I think. And I'm not a huge fan of parchment paper, but you can totally do whatever is easiest for you guys. All right, so we're on our last one. Where are you guys at?
I just finished.
You just finished? What about you, Keely?
I'm good.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we're gonna bring ours over here so you can see them. So I just have them out on a tray. We're gonna put a little bit of that egg wash on it. So Abby's gonna take her fancy tool and she's just gonna dip it in there and then rub it on top of the bagels. So this is just gonna help them like get crispy, but not burn on the top. So once you've got the egg wash on them, then if you want to do any spices, so like this is when, Keely, you could put on the everything but the bagel seasoning and just kind of sprinkle it on top. Or if you wanted to use like garlic salt or whatever kind of bagel that you kind of want, this is where you would put that extra flavoring on the top. We're gonna keep ours plain because we have strawberry cream cheese in the middle today. And then you're gonna pop these into the oven, and these are gonna cook for like 20 to 25 minutes. We usually take ours out closer to 20 because my kids are kind of freaks about them being like too dark brown. So it's just up to you guys. So I would check them at like 20 minutes, and if you think that that's a good color for you, then take them out. And if you want them to be a little bit darker, then go ahead and keep them in for an extra like 5. So we're gonna stick these in the oven, and then we're gonna clean up and do our energy balls. Right, here's what we're gonna use for our energy balls. So we have cream peanut butter. You can use almond butter or any other like nut butter if you want. We just use peanut butter at our house. Oats, honey. We use this like flax chia seed because it's got both in it. So we hide that in there.
Jordan, do we need the flax chia seeds? I have only
No,
chia.
but it's good for you and you can't taste it.
I have only chia. I just don't have that. I have it.
It's okay. You don't have to put them in there. Then we're gonna use cinnamon chips in ours, and chocolate chips in ours. Totally up to you. You can do one or the other or both. And then I usually mix a little like chocolate protein powder in ours because that's what my kids like. So those are the ingredients for our energy balls. I'll give you guys a few minutes to kind of get that stuff squared away if you're making them with me. All right, so what are we thinking? Are we good? Are you ready to go with these?
Jordan, I'm not ready.
Please for chocolate chips.
Okay, I'll wait for you, Izzy. It's okay. Do that. We're probably just gonna make one batch today. So we're gonna use our half a cup, so I'm gonna do 2 scoops. Wait a second, please.
I want to scoop it
You
up.
can, just give me a second. And then, please don't, thank you. Then you're gonna do 2/3 of a cup of peanut butter. Peanut butter in there, stop, please.
I want to eat the peanut butter.
Just wait. Here, go ahead. All right, if you have a young child or Izzy with you, you can eat the peanut butter off the spoon. Then we've got, all right, so then we've got half a cup of the flaxseed. If you don't have that, it's okay. All right, and then once you're done that, you've got 2 tablespoons of honey. Can you please put that down? All right, once you're done that, then you're gonna put in your chocolate chips or your cinnamon chips or whatever chips you're using. So we're gonna do chocolate and cinnamon today. It says to do half a cup of the chocolate chips, but I'll be honest, I just kind of eyeball it and see like the texture, like if I want more or less.
I want to do it.
Okay, hold on. Here, these are the cinnamon ones.
This one was stuffed, so I'm going to just eat that.
Okay.
It was stuffed.
Toss those in. So I'm doing like a little over a quarter of a cup of cinnamon chips and then a little over a quarter of a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. But you can use milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate, really any kind of chip that you want for yours. And then we're just gonna mix them up. So then once I feel like my spoon's not really doing too much work, I dig in. All right, so once we've got them, I kind of make like one big ball and then I just go off of that. So once I've got a ball that looks sort of like this, then I just start breaking it up into little pieces. So I don't like to make ours super big because our kids like to eat them as little snacks. So I usually make ours probably like the size of a spoon. So they're not crazy big. They're like, can I see your spoon for a second, Abby? So just for reference, they're like about the size of a teaspoon or tablespoon, I mean. And then once I start making them, I usually just put them on another baking sheet or like a long plate because I'm gonna stick mine in the freezer for like 20 minutes. All right, so once you've made all of the energy balls, like I said, I usually like to just freeze mine for like 20 minutes because I just think it like kind of gets them to stick together a little bit like firmer, and then I'll put them in the fridge until we're ready to eat them. So there she is, monkey girl on our counters. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick ours in our freezer for about 20 minutes, and then I'm just gonna take them out and put them in the fridge so they're kind of glued together a little bit better. All right, so I'm gonna take the next 2 minutes to just kind of clean up our mess and put some stuff away, and then we'll pull the bagel bites out and take a look at them. Okay, so here are our bagel bites. These are pretty light in color. I'm probably gonna put them in for another like 2 minutes, probably not the full 5, because like I said, my kids get a little weird when they get like too dark. But you can see like this one in the back exploded a little. It's all good. When it comes out later, we'll just stick them out to like cool off and kind of shove that cream cheese back in it. All right, that is the conclusion of our cooking show. Thank you guys for joining.